These are the worst missed chances in World Cup history. Making a mistake can not just cost your team the win, but fail your country's dreams of winning the World Cup. Humans' biggest fear is not just the fear of failure, but failing in the public eye. And today, I'll be discussing the biggest World Cup chances that could have changed football history and learn how the players bounced back from the darkest moments of their career. Kicking off the list was Roberto Baggio's penalty miss in the 1994 World Cup final.
Roberto Baggio, the saviour of Italy throughout this tournament. He's missed it! And Brazil win the World Cup!
He skied a penalty in front of over 100,000 people. Roberto was devastated with his effort and struggled to bounce back. However, Baggio returned back, scoring twice in the '98 World Cup and becoming the first Italian to score in 3 World Cups. If Roberto scored that penalty in Rose Bowl Arena, he would have equaled the score and gave Italy another chance at winning the match, and possibly even win the trophy. And now missing a penalty is a rough way to exit, but Pele's miss in 1970 was one you would never believe. His dummy around the goalie was magical, but Pele did not finish the goal.
Pele around the goalkeeper, the dummy.
He scuffed it wide of the post and failed to score in that match. Fortunately, that chance had no effect on the game considering Brazil won 3-1 against Uruguay.
That surely would have been one of the goals of this World Cup.
The greatest dummy in football just needed to tap it, but even Pele has missed a sitter.
He's round the goalkeeper, just let him run on, and he scored! No!
And now Brazil's standards are high, but Neymar's miss last year was astounding. During the 2021 World Cup qualifiers, Brazil played Paraguay and Neymar, well, missed another penalty. Despite being one of the most expensive players in the world, Neymar is not all perfect. Brazil still won and Neymar moved on. His talents continued off the field and this man never stopped dancing. These days Neymar gets clowned for flopping, so in my last video I asked Americans how good his flops were. How good do you think Neymar's flops are on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being like he sold it, like that was great, or 1 being like I could have done better?
It's got to be a 10. He's made a career out of it.
Neymar is more than just a footballer, he's a TikToker. Neymar's penalty miss was bad, but not as bad as Higuain's chance in 2014. The World Cup final between Argentina and Germany was tense, but Higuain's game-changing chance could have ended it all.
Again, he's slow, pedestrian, laborious.
The final went into overtime, and after a goalless 90 minutes in extra time, Germany took charge. The game finished breaking Argentina's heart and leaving Messi in tears. If Gonzalo scored that, it was likely Argentina would have won. Higuain's chance was crucial, but not as crazy as Robben's breakaway against Spain in 2010. The World Cup final between Spain and the Dutch was rough, and Arjen Robben had a breakaway in his prime 1v1 against Casillas. It was blocked brilliantly, but would have been the difference in the match. Robben left the field devastated, but finished his career strongly with Bayern Munich. Footballers miss chances all the time, but sometimes that one chance is hanging over their shoulder. They learn to rub it off and focus on the next, but it's very difficult. I remember times in my career where I lost or just didn't clutch up, but on the biggest stage, it's a whole different animal. Even though this isn't World Cup related, I wanted to discuss Fahad Kaffin's miss in the 2010 Asian Games. Qatar, the host of this year's World Cup, played against Uzbekistan and Fahad somehow missed a tap-in. I don't know how this was even possible. He didn't need to use his left foot and it was a shocking miss he will never forget. But like my dad always says, sometimes in life you gotta make a mistake so that you don't learn to do that again. Well Fahad, I hope you learned your lesson. Next up was Asmad's penalty miss in the 2010 World Cup versus Uruguay. Luis Suarez saved the ball off the line with his hand, got sent off the field and prevented Ghana from scoring a goal.
To send Ghana into the semi-finals of the World Cup. And he hits the bar!
Suarez celebrated that match as Uruguay won in overtime. If Asmoa scored that penalty, Ghana would have moved on to the semi-finals. It was a heartbreaking moment for him as his team supported him afterwards. But in 1982, Keegan missed an amazing opportunity versus Spain. In the final minutes of the match, England had a chance to seal the deal and yet the game ended goalless. Keegan was shocked and honestly it had to be a goal. It was set up on a plate and my man fluffed it. And at the number 2 spot on this list was Christian Vieri's open goal miss in 2002. Vieri was breaking through and came sliding in the last moment and missed a tap-in, and honestly it was unbelievable.
But Italy with a chance to come back, and Vieri! That is the miss of the World Cup.
Korea won that game, knocking out Italy in the round of 16 and ending all hopes for Vieri. Ironically, that game finished 2-1 and the one Italy goal they got did come from Vieri. It was one of the worst missed goals of all time, but not as bad as the worst World Cup miss in history. Nigeria's striker Yakubu had the easiest tap-in ever but missed the net.
Great ball by Uche. Aila, oh what a miss! It's the miss of the tournament!
The game ended 2-2 and it was a nightmare mistake from the front man. The World Cup is one of the most special tournaments ever, so please let me know who you think is gonna win. And the team I think that's gonna win the World Cup is in this video.